Good afternoon. Welcome to the Midday Mull for Thursday, the 17th of November. Robert Murray McShane has us reading Amos chapter 6 and the second half of Luke chapter 1. And to my mind, there's a link between the two. Amos starts off in chapter 6 saying, "Woe to those who are complacent in Zion." And then he gives a picture of what that complacency looks like. He says, "You lie on beds adorned with ivory and lounge on your couches. You dine on choice lambs and fattened calves. You strum away on your harps like David and improvise on musical instruments. You drink wine by the bowlful and use the finest lotions. But you do not grieve over the ruin of Joseph." So here were people that were comfortable. They had everything they needed. They had lotions and wine and food and music, and life was good. But they weren't listening to God. They didn't have God's perspective. They didn't see how far they had got wrong, that Joseph, representing the people of Israel, had strayed from God and gone off on their own direction and were losing God. And as I read that, I thought that really is a picture of so much of the West today, where people are comfortable, very comfortable, and spiritually more than complacent and almost dead. And what we see in the West is we see the church emptying at an alarming rate as people enjoy their complacency, and the church often has nothing to offer them. In Luke chapter 1, Mary and Elizabeth speak to one another, and we have that wonderful song of Mary as she looks at what God is going to do in his Messiah as Jesus is about to come into the world. And she says, "He has performed mighty deeds with his arm. He has scattered those who are proud in their inmost thoughts. He has brought down rulers from their thrones, but has lifted up the humble. He has filled the hungry with good things, but has sent the rich away empty. He has helped his servant Israel, remembering to be merciful to Abraham and his descendants forever." And she says, as Jesus comes into the world, it's going to be very different, because those that think they are well off, that they are well fed, are going to have nothing. And those that are not complacent, that are looking for God and waiting and trusting, God will meet them. He will show the strength of his arm as he helps them. And I don't believe this is saying that we have to be poor, but it is saying that we mustn't be complacent. And no matter what we've got to constantly be letting God shape our lives, shape our values, shape our world. Because otherwise we're going to end up with stuff, but we'll lose God, and ultimately we will lose everything. So be encouraged to hang on to God, to stand on his word, to walk with him and trust him day by day. And as we do that, we are blessed.